Well, hitting the road with your honey can be stressful. Little arguments during a vacation can easily turn your paradise into your worst nightmare. So we hit the streets of St. Louis to find out what the biggest issue is when you travel with your spouse.
When my spouse and I travel, our biggest issue is direction.
My husband will never stop to go to the bathroom unless he needs to go.
We always fight over which way is the right way, which way is the wrong way. He's right, I'm wrong. Who has the map on the iPhone?
Don't give us a map and expect us in our directions and expect us to come up with the same way to get there.
It gets pretty ugly. Seconds of silence. And then we stop and it turns out I'm right.
Well, we used to bicker some about directions, but then we got GPS, so that's
Makes
solved.
it easy, yeah. But we don't. No,
No, we don't.
very seldom.
We really don't. If that's the only question you got, then you're out of luck with us, girl.
Oh, I love this topic. Joining us to talk more about the ups and downs of traveling with your spouse, professional counselor, because that's what we need right now, Lindsay Walden. Good morning to you.
Morning.
Okay, it's supposed to be romantic, and you want everything to go as planned.
True.
But what if it doesn't? I mean, the flights are going to be delayed, somebody's going to get sick, luggage is going to get lost.
Yeah. You know that saying, like, if something could go wrong, it probably will.
Exactly.
Sometimes we want to look at that. Not that it has to be major, awful stuff. But when we travel with a significant other, it brings out a lot of those things right beneath the surface sometimes that can just irritate us, because now you're away from home, you're away from those creature comforts, you're out of your zone of like what you know. Now we just want to scream at each other.
And because we're traveling as a couple, you're traveling as a family, but it might affect me differently than it does my husband.
Yes.
And so we have to reflect on, okay, lost luggage upsets me because I had something in there. You know, I'm just nervous about it. My husband may be angry about it. We have to reflect on how we handle those things as individuals versus couples.
Right, and maybe this idea that, okay, you're angry. You have a right to be angry. He's frustrated. He has a right to be frustrated. How can we come together and be like a unit, a team, working towards the same goal rather than taking out our anger and frustration on each other? Does that make sense?
Yes, that does. Yes, that does. And I have found that being in unfamiliar locations can affect people differently?
Absolutely. Well, there's first of all just when you move to a new place or when you're living in a new place, you kind of learn the, okay, here's my grocery store, here's my gas station, here's the place I take my pets to the vet. You know,
but when you're traveling
you
to
don't
a
have
new place,
all of that
you don't have that comfort.
Yeah, and so you're so outside of that comfort zone that it is going to, that's why you get homesickness and kind of that like, oh, I just really want that drink at this store that I go to all the time.
Exactly. Now, this is a big one, not just for traveling with your spouse, but for your marriage. And that is because we can become enemies here, but we should be allies.
Or try to be.
Try. Oh,
yeah.
I love that. Try to be.
It's going to be difficult if we're both really inflamed or angry about something, or maybe two different things, but yet we're trying to make it work. But sometimes it is about figuring out, okay, you need to vent a little bit, you vent a little bit, then I'll vent a little bit, and trying to enjoy that. Take a break from the ugh if you can. Go get dinner or go for a walk or do something to kind of calm down.
Because you do say that we should add intimacy to the trip, which I almost got through that without laughing. Because for those of you who are listening to this right now and you travel with your spouse and it is a stressful thing, the last thing you're thinking about is intimacy.
Well, and I think so we want to just remember intimacy, sex don't have to be the same thing.
They're not the same thing.
Right, and so the
Men, they're not the same.
Yeah, they're not the same thing, very different.
Yes.
Or they can be, we want them to come together. It could be like, let's say you're at a hotel and they offer like a couple's massage or something like that. That could potentially be an intimate thing for a couple to share, or if maybe there's a nice little trail behind the hotel or something.
Take a walk together.
Take a walk together. Just talk about the frustration while you're walking and kind of letting some of the steam off. That can be intimate without having to be like physically intimate. That's okay too.
All right. Okay, good luck to you guys.
Yeah.
We hope that helped. Thank you, Lindsay.
You're welcome.
We have posted a link to Lindsay's website at ours, greatdaystlouis.com. Kent, Matt?
Thank you, ladies. All right. You know, pets can make our lives so much better. They offer love and companionship, unless they poop on the rug.
That whole thing. And even then, that's done out of love sometimes. Yeah, they can also get into a lot of trouble. So coming up, advice from the one and only, you know him, you love him, the dog whisperer. That's right, we're talking live to Cesar Millan about dog behavior problems. And the final season of his hit show. This is going to be his last season.
Plus, an easy salad that you can try for dinner tonight. Dierberg's sharing a recipe for a delicious Italian Cobb salad. I love those. That's coming up.